That's like a lot of people. I'm going back in. I'm done.
Bye.
How you guys doing? Everybody good? Yeah. Are you ready for like the best MMO panel ever? Yeah. There's so much stuff to show you here today. I just got a few things to go through, and we'll get started. Okay? Can we handle it? All right.
Nope.
So I know that we MMO gamers can be a bit cynical. And it's with good reason. If you look at our game list on MMORPG.com, there's over 600 games. And I think it's fair to say, they're not all good. Maybe. However, just 10 years ago, we only had a handful of games to play. I mean, MMORPG.com was a site run by two guys in Hawaii. And they had no idea what would happen over the next decade. 20 years ago, there was nothing but MUDs, and before that, there was nothing but pen and paper and dice, which is still good. I'm not knocking board games, okay? But there's a lot to be excited about when it comes to MMOs. New ideas are sprouting up every year, and the scene today is not going to be the same in another 5 years, much less in another 5 months. So today we should be thankful. Here before you, we're going to have 7 of the industry's leading developers. These are the guys who are going to drive the genre over the next 10 years. And they're here to talk to you. They're here to tell you what they feel is the future of online gaming, and you'll be able to ask them your questions and have them answered directly to you. I'm Bill Murphy, as we heard, blah, 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 the managing editor of MMORPG.com, and I'd like to welcome you all to the 3rd annual Future of Online Games panel here at PAX East 2012. Now let's give you a rundown and introduce the 7 awesome guys you're going to talk to today. First, we have Kurt Schilling of 38 Studios. Kurt Schilling. Thank you. Hi, guys. And then we have Rob Hill of Tryon Worlds.
We have good support.
And then we have James Olin of BioWare. We have John Peters of ArenaNet. We have Brian Knox of MMOs Entertainment. We have Craig Morrison of Funcom. And last but certainly not least, we have Matt Higbee of SOB. Those are our panelists. Let's hear it all. Come on. I swear I'm almost done droning and we'll get to the actual panel, but let's go over a few ground rules. I'm going to start off with just a couple of questions so that everybody on the panel gets to talk. And then after that, what we're going to do is have you guys line up behind the microphones. You'll see them, one over there, one over there. That's Hillary and Christina are ready to help you out. And then just do me a favor and try to keep the questions as short and to the point as possible, because there's a lot of you here and we want to make sure we get as many questions in, okay? So, let's get started. I'll ask a couple questions. Feel free to line up behind those microphones and get the show on the road, okay? Okay, guys, panelists. Number 1, innovation is always questioned in the industry. Do you think we're at a standstill for innovation in MMOs, or are we just breaking into what's possible with these games? And we'll start with Mr. Higbee right here.
Woo!
Down.
Let's go!
Hi. I don't think that we're at a standstill with innovation, actually. I think that MMO games are sort of at a precipice of having a really radical alteration of the way that they would play. And when I look at all the games that everybody up here is working on, I think that the thing that really sets the games of the future apart from the games of the past is really an emphasis on great gameplay. I think that a lot of times MMO games have kind of suffered from not having fantastic gameplay. and instead really using community as being the thing that makes you want to play them. And now I see that everybody's really focusing on, let's figure out how to make these games really fun to play. To me, that's a really cool new, maybe not innovation, but it's definitely a shift in the way that these games are being built.
Yeah.
I've got to agree. I mean, I think the cool thing about our genre, more than maybe any other genre in game development, is that we get to use you guys out there, you know, the community. And our games are only partly ours. A lot of them are yours. And what really excites me about the future is that the technology is finally catching up to a place where we can empower players more and more. And we can use you guys as part of the development process so that we're creating worlds again, rather than just games. You know, that we can use the better gameplay, we can use the technology, and we can kind of bring them together to give players more power to kind of dictate how these worlds go. And I guess I'm kind of an idealist for MMOs. I really see them going that direction. And now that the technology is finally getting there, I think over the next 5 years, you'll really see that kind of move forward from there.
I'm kind of on the fence. I think there's a lot of good innovation out there, but I think there's a lot of innovation that would have been great 2 or 3 years ago, but development cycles for MMOs take so long. We were talking backstage about how all these MMOs are, you know, hitting this year, and how everybody's, you know, how long have you been in development? Oh, we were in development for 4 years, and we were in 5 years, and I think that's going to be harder and harder to keep up because a lot of games nowadays are innovating so fast in 6-month, 1-year cycles, and I think MMOs need to get better, and I think that means getting dirtier a little quicker with the public and, you know, showing some of the nasty secrets and getting the feedback and getting the opinions so that they can innovate faster and iterate with the community as opposed kind of behind closed doors with their own personal vision.
Yeah, I mean, I would say actually that already everyone is trying to innovate all the time. I mean, I don't think there's anyone here that's saying, let's just try and not innovate. That seems kind of crazy. So I think the thing is that, as you said, it takes a long time to build these games, and so that's why, at least for us, the company's kind of built around this innovation and around that principle, and that in order to take a game that has a 5-year life cycle to build and have it be innovative, you have to be thinking about it and going all in, like right at the beginning. So I think that's the big thing, is that if you want to see innovative games, like you have to push it as much as you can, because otherwise you just end up building this thing that was innovative a few years ago, as you said. So.
I'm actually really positive about innovation in the online space. I think, as was said before, it's just the MMORPGs are the most complex game to build out there, and it means that you have to spend a lot of time building up the technology and the tools for the team to be able to build the vision you want. And what we have now is we have a whole bunch of different companies. We represent a lot of those companies up here on the stage that now have built that technology, and now that we've built that technology, BioWare now has an online engine. We can use that to start innovating a lot more than we have in the past. So I think you're going to see a lot more innovation than you have in the past few years in the next few years. So I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, and you know, beyond just the moment like Matt said down there, which I totally agree with, you know, just making the moment more fun. One of the things I think we kind of have ignored is really expanding to a market that hasn't really experienced these things. And for us, that's, you know, showing up on the consoles. There's a huge market for console gamers that really don't know about the MMO space. And I think that they're going to hopefully find out really soon, and it's just going to be a huge thing. Beyond that, some innovations that are starting to come online, but really aren't huge, is the MMO everywhere. So basically, you can interact with your MMO from your phone, from the web, or whatever. And those are going to be huge things that just get more and more scale.
I think one of the dangers that with innovation and using it in a blanket statement is I think everybody up here would understand. There's innovative technology, there's innovative art, there's innovative gameplay. I think all of us in what we're doing are innovating in some way. The danger, I think, becomes when you innovate in non-customer facing ways where you feel like you're the smartest people in the building and your players, it's not something your players ever see, feel, or know. You know, as much as I love innovation, I still yearn for that EverQuest feeling again. You know, that hypnotic login music and the ding that made me drool. You know, you want innovation but at the same time, you want to get back to that place of comfort. And I think MMOs are always going to be on the cusp of the social online experience. Casual gameplay is going to be what it's going to be. It's going to be a rapid iteration, millions of products in the market all the time. That MMO that pushes social interaction and grouping and things like that is something I fell in love with 10 years ago and I still love today.
Awesome.